Okay, looks like I've got a connection. It says the encoding's overloaded, which is kind of strange, but we're live. We're live. Okay, here we go. There we go. It took long enough, but oh, wow, that was fun. I'm gonna try and upload one of those butchered VODs, but OBS was acting a little bit odd. We're back up and online now. So it looks like everything is a-okay and we are all set here. Kind of weird. I'm seeing some spikes. I'm not used to seeing when I'm streaming. My GPU is working on overdrive right now, and the CPU is certainly huffing and puffing. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. This computer might indeed be dead. Longtime viewers probably agree. I mean, if you don't agree, I'd be very shocked. Here, let me turn on the TGS because I've got no idea if people are in chat or not. Yeah, actually, hold on. Let me close down one of my windows. That actually might be a culprit. Actually, a couple of my windows, because I actually did have a 4K video loaded up on one of my windows. So there we go. There we go. I did record the whole intro, like the normal intro that I do on the streams. I don't really feel like redoing the intro, to be honest. So, but anyways, the drink of the day is Spindrift. That'll make me feel slightly less annoyed with this whole situation. What is this? It says error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. What? As such, viewers will experience buffering. That's so weird. Hold on, wait a second. Let me check my network settings real quick. This does happen occasionally. I actually do remember this happening at some points. Let me check the control panel here. Why is the encoding overloaded? That makes no sense. Because I use the same settings each and every time, and usually the settings are not the encoding is not overloaded. And also my preview looks fine. Usually if the encoding is truly overloaded, my preview will be choppy, but my preview isn't choppy at all. Here, hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Let me do advanced. Okay, hold on. Are we reconnected? Are we good? We should be back. We should be back. Okay, it says successfully connected. I see that OBS is a connection again. It looks still got encoded overloading message. That's a little bit unfortunate. But we're gonna have to roll with it. I record the VODs. What I'll do is I'll just upload the VOD. There you go. Yeah, I'll just upload the VOD at the end of the stream, so you guys can see everything looking smooth as everything should, I'd imagine. It is a little bit annoying. Okay, all right, hold on. Let me pull this up here. Moving the auto duck. All right. So we have this massive story going on right now, a huge bombshell in the world of censorship. No, just kidding. We're going to be talking about the whole situation with Hassan Piker. This guy got banned. Well, people say banned. He really just got suspended for 24 hours. And here the headline says, and this is from spilled.gg. Hassanabi faces 24-hour Twitch ban after discussing embassy shooter manifesto. Now, this is the reason that Twitch gave for giving Hassan Piker a 24-hour ban, but I mean, let's be entirely honest. Hassan Piker is someone who has been supporting and endorsing terrorism for quite a while now. He's basically made a career out of this. And so this has led to some very, very negative press for Hassan Piker. And and it's not just bad press for Hassan Piker, right? A lot of people are hating on him now. In fact, I think that his proximity towards Creator Clash 3 is one reason why Creator Clash 3 is failing right now. But the big thing that this situation did was also put a target on Twitch's back, because they're like, hey, we've got this whole situation with the Israel-Hamas war. We've got a lot of anti-Semites running around right now. And, this is not helping. Understandably so, right? Because anti-Semites like to latch on to movements such as the pro-Palestinian movement, because it's an easy way for them to get sympathy and also for them to get allies and supporters, at least part of their agenda, which is, getting rid of Israel, which of course, anti-Semites certainly want to do. But Twitch sort of has the target on their back now, planted by others. I know Dan Clancy from Destiny's camp has been going crazy, but a lot of people have been pointing fingers at Twitch saying, hey, you're letting this guy support terrorists and promote hateful rhetoric on your platform unchecked. A lot of people have been making video essays about it. I think some folks have even been making articles about it as well. And so I think this is the real reason why Hassan Piker is getting banned. It's because this is making Twitch look bad, and this sends a signal to Twitch's advertisers that says, hey, we're actually not on board with this, not anti-Semitism necessarily, but we're not on board with this extremism, this pro-terrorist, pro-violent extremism that is available readily on our platform and promoted even by the CEO of the platform. So this is kind of like a I don't know what would be the best way to put it. This is basically virtue signaling to corporate America on behalf of Twitch. But let's keep on going down here in the rest of the article, because the rest of the article has more details on this whole situation. They've got a little TLDR section here, which is kind of neat. I've actually never used this website before. It says, Hasanabi received a 24-hour Twitch suspension for critically examining an Israeli embassy shooter's manifesto during a stream. Twitch prohibits discussion of manifestos linked to violent acts, regardless of context or analytical intent. Okay. Well, that's kind of dumb and that's kind of stupid. And things like this is actually one reason why I stream on YouTube and not on Twitch. I think Twitch, I like the culture that's on Twitch more or less, like with the Twitch chats and the emotes. But when it comes to live streaming platforms and the ability to speak your mind and not be censored, Twitch is actually one of the worst ones for that. They skew to the left. That's why you don't really see many right-wing streamers on there, in large part because a lot of them don't game as much as left-wingers because they have jobs. But mostly, if I was to do the streams that I do on Twitch, I would have been banned. I think I reacted to Osama bin Laden's manifesto. So that would not have flowed on Twitch. And so that's why I mainly stream on YouTube. Now, to be fair, I also have a Kick account, which I do stream on occasionally. I don't stream on it a whole lot because I don't want to, send a lot of my viewers over to Kick, because Kick has some crazy folks over there. But at this point, with the extremism that's on Twitch and the lack of a big live streaming community on YouTube, I think at this point I wouldn't be as averse to streaming on Kick as I have been in the past, I would say. But yeah, but honestly, with this whole situation though, if I was Hassan Piker, I would strongly be considering switching to YouTube or Kick as well. Because I think if you're someone who wants to cover the news, then you should be allowed to react to things that might be considered sensitive, like terrorist manifestos or footage that terrorists release. Now, reacting to it and supporting it are two different things. But if you're trying to be newsworthy, then of course you're going to be bumping up against some of these rules that are designed to keep extremist content at bay from a platform. But let's keep going here. It says, Hassan accepted the suspension but expressed hope that Twitch will reconsider policies that limit news coverage and commentary. I mean, they're not. Says here, Hasanabi has been temporarily suspended from Twitch after critically examining the manifesto of a shooter who attacked the Israeli embassy staff during a recent broadcast. The ban, confirmed to last 24 hours, stems from Twitch's strict policy against discussing manifestos linked to violent acts, regardless of streamers' intentions or analytical approach. And we've got an embedded zeet here from Streamer Bans that says Twitch partner Hasanabi has been banned. Let's see here. Hassan Dogan. I didn't know his middle name was Dogan. Piker shared news of his suspension on X, posting an image of the ban notification alongside his perspective on the situation. Quote, I covered the motives of the Israeli embassy staff shooter, Hassan wrote. The Twitch TOS dictates a suspension for even critical examination of the manifesto. I believe this is a bad policy for news and press freedom, which is true, but you kind of know the rules when you join Twitch. And if you didn't, then, you know, there are other platforms you could go to. You know, come over here to YouTube. You can go to Kick. You could go to Rumble. I feel like, you know, Hassan is kind of extremist, so I think Kick is probably the best place for him. But yeah, it's not like you have to stay on Twitch, although I completely understand, you know, you've got the subs and everything, you know. You're certainly not incentivized to leave Twitch at any level. But it says here, I'll take the suspension, but hope Twitch changes this policy in the future. And it's like, the funny thing too is that, like, I bet he knows the real reason why he got suspended, which I like to call it the suspension, not a ban, because it's not permanent, right? But it's really just a PR move on Twitch's part. They don't want to ban Hassan, but they want to be able to go to their advertisers and be like, hey, look, we did something. Because, you know, Dan Clancy loves this dude. So, and many of the mods probably love Hassan as well, because they just let him keep on getting away with it. Right? There was a little meme, I think, in the Hassan Piker community where it's like, he can't keep getting away with it. But it turns out, yeah, he actually can keep getting away with it. And he will continue to get away with it. But yeah, let's continue. It says, while accepting the platform's decision, Hassan expressed concerns about Twitch's approach to covering sensitive news topics. He acknowledged the rules, but noted that such policies are, quote, bad for news and press freedom, end quote, and hopes, quote, Twitch changes this policy in the future, end quote. This isn't the first time Twitch's moderation policies regarding violent content have gotten people talking. The platform maintains strict guidelines to prevent the amplification of extremist content, though critics argue these rules can sometimes get in the way of legitimate news coverage and political commentary. Journalist Taylor Lorenz confirmed the 24-hour suspension. How did Taylor Lorenz confirm that? Oh, I know that she's like a Hassan simp, but how did she know? Because how many days ago was this? This was a few days ago, right? Let's see, if I go back 4 days, I know Taylor Lorenz is quite busy on X. Oh my goodness, I didn't know she was this busy on X. This is a lot of posts. Hold on, wait. Let me scroll down and see if I can find this. Because it was the 24th when the whole situation took place. Let me keep scrolling. Oh my goodness. Does Taylor Lorenz have a job? I don't what? These are so many posts. Hold on, let me see. Okay. Keep going. Okay, 25th. Where's the 24th? With the 24th. I'm trying to get to the 24th. Oh my goodness. I did not know she was like getting into the mix of it with Ethan. Okay, so now we're at the 23rd. No, we're not the 23rd yet. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here she boosted Hassan's post. We keep on going up. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe she reacted before this. Where was she? Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, so I don't know how she knew this. How did she know this? She somehow knew that Hassan Piker got banned for 24 hours. Is it well, I mean, she's a journalist, right? So maybe she's got connects, but like part of me is like, Did she talk to Hassan directly? Did she talk to folks at Twitch directly? But here's Taylor Lorenz's statement. She said, Hassan has been banned for 24 hours for covering the shooter's manifesto, even while denouncing it, which is literally like in the rules. So, I mean, yeah, another example of social media censorship of newsworthy information and coverage. This is a major newsworthy event, and content creators should be allowed to cover it without platform retaliation. True. By the way, for the record, I will say I actually agree with Taylor Lorenz here. Social media is how people get news information now, and these platforms are aggressively censoring journalistic speech based on politics. Whether you agree, whether you agree, because it's a nonpartisan rule. Whether you agree with Hassan or any streamer covering the news or not, you should fight for their right to speak freely online. I do that. We are seeing record online censorship right now from both political parties because no one on the left or right is fighting to protect online speech. Yeah, I guess that's kind of true. I feel like on the right, people sort of give it up on the whole like free speech thing. I feel like, they feel like because they can say what they want on X, that there's no need to complain about censorship anymore. But you still should have your guard up against censorship of either folks on the right or the left. Like conservatives, I think, should be saying, hey, Hassan should not be banned for reacting to a manifesto. He should be banned for, supporting terrorism, perhaps, right, on a mainstream platform. Like, we're not talking about, like, Kick here. We're not talking about Rumble. We're talking about a website that does not support free speech. I think if you're not going to support free speech, then you should probably be banning extremist content like Hassan Piker's. But they don't want to do that, I guess. This is so disingenuous. This is ridiculous. This is from, like, Onweed, I don't know how you say this, ONNW33D. Says a Zionist was killed this time, so it's a big deal. What is this? And this is actually not proof that this is censorship due to this specific victim being Israeli. But I think this is proof that this is not the real reason why he got banned. Is it like Cybertruck Explosion Manifesto, green, Luigi Mangione Manifesto? What? Wow. I guess I didn't know he got away with it so many times. That's crazy. Luigi Mangione Manifesto, green, Wisconsin school shooter manifesto, green. By the way, please stop using orange pop filters. They're really they don't look good. I know Kat uses them. Kat Abugabaza or whatever her name is. Abugazela. I know she uses colored pop filters. They don't look good. Just stick with the black dude. Just go black. Don't go back. Okay. There's also Wisconsin school shooter manifesto. He reacted to that. That was green. Reacted to the Ryan Routh manifesto. That's green as well. But here's where he gets banned with the Israeli diplomat shooter manifesto. It's kind of funny, but I think this is just proof that this is not the real reason why he got banned. So I don't think it necessarily makes the point that he thinks is making, or it, or they. I don't know if this is an organization. Multiple people, a she, I don't know. Actually, it's Hassan, so it's very possible it's a she, now I think about it. But yeah, then of course we've got the Hassan post over there. So, I mean, this is literally a slap on the wrist, and I think Twitch is going to use this as an excuse to not do anything to Hassan Piker in the future, which is, I think, a little bit unfortunate. But, I mean, to me, Hassan Piker not being on the airwaves on Twitch for one day is a net positive, even if I'm not a fan of censorship. It's like, this dude over here supports terrorism and supports violence against certain groups. Like, I'm not going to be too mad for him getting banned, just like I wasn't like too mad about Nick Fuentes getting banned. I support his right for free speech, but he's an extremist as well, who's problematic in his own ways. So, I don't know. I'm going to save my tears for another day, I think. All right, so after getting banned from X, so after getting banned from Twitter, Hassan decided to release his own statement. He did a separate video. I think that he's got like 5 cameras at his desk. So he used one of them to record this video. This is called I Got Suspended Again. And this is kind of neat. Like whenever he gets banned, he makes this video, which like, I don't like Hassan, but this is a good idea. And this is something that like content creators should do, where it's like you get banned on one platform, then you should you know, make a video, make a little statement, kind of telling your side of the story and then posting it. Like, that's what I would do if I was in the same situation. So anyways, let's see what he has to say. I wonder if he actually has a clip of the clip that got banned, the part of the stream that got him banned, because I'm really interested to hear what he had to say. I think that he probably records everything on his end as well, so he's got to have the files of what he was saying, and I wonder if he included the clip for context.
Hello. If you're watching this, that means I just got banned. As in, I got a temporary 24-hour suspension. And we're back together on this deep, up-close, and personal YouTube video. Welcome back to the Hasanabi channel on YouTube. Now, some of you are probably wondering, considering that there's a lot of back and forth going on online about why I got banned once again. Well, you might have actually heard the truth. I got banned specifically because I covered the motives of the Israeli embassy staff shooter, which apparently, according to Twitch terms of service, dictates a suspension, even if I critically
literally, yes, it does.
The manifesto, which is precisely what I did.
Oh, shoot. That's why my GPU was freaking out and my encoding was overloading. It always chokes whenever I try to load a video that has 60 frames per second. So let me make sure that nothing else is trying to do 60 frames per second. Okay, there we go. This should fix most of my issues. There we go.
The reason why I read this is specifically so that you understand that, like, there is a shit ton of people that are like, no, this is the shooter's actions were directly about finding some Jewish victim to kill. Okay, it's deliberate. It's clear what his reasoning is. You don't have to agree with what he did, and I'm not urging you to. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But it is.
But is he condemning it though? Right, like. I think it's completely different to be like, oh, well, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't support this. I wouldn't condone this, versus being like, this is bad, this is wrong, and you shouldn't do it. And if I had to make a bet here, I would say that Hassan Piker only gave soft disavowals, saying that, you know, this isn't great. I wouldn't do this, but you know, honestly, coming from him, I think that's an improvement.
You too, okay? I'm not saying that at all, but it is deliberate. Ask yourself why the media is not saying that the shooter did this because they were distraught with the violence that they had seen unfolded in Gaza.
What else are you supposed to think when he literally is arrested saying free Palestine, free Gaza, or whatever? Right? Like, the news has been reporting that. To me, it makes no sense to be like, oh, the news isn't saying what the motive was. Bro literally shot, killed, and assassinated 2 employees at the Israeli embassy while saying free Gaza. I wonder what his motive could have been. Like, come on, bro, stop it. I'm so annoyed. But because, like, one of the things that the left loves to do is they love to play dumb and be like, oh, what's a woke person? I don't know what woke means. Woke is so dumb. That word means nothing. It's ephemeral. And like, similarly here, he's like, oh, the news media isn't saying what the motive was. Like, no, dude. Like, remove your hands from your eyes. Have a more holistic view of what the media is reporting, what the news is reporting. Because, like, I have not seen a single mainstream news segment about this whole situation that admitted the fact that he was saying free Gaza, free Palestine, right? Like, the media was not hiding that fact. Generally speaking, if you watch the news, like NBC Nightly News, they're not going to read pages from the manifesto, but they will maybe show statements that the person gave at the time.
And the reason why I had critically examined the manifesto of the Israeli embassy staff shooter was because there was a lot of misinformation taking place, as is the case usually online whenever there's a breaking news story. This is what I do. A big part of what I do is holding people's hands through the news media process by allowing them to think critically and helping them understand literacy.
Sorry.
This is precisely why I was covering the manifesto that my friend Ken Klippenstein was able to find and release. Another friend of mine, Eric Toller of the New York Times Visual Investigation Unit, had also uncovered the manifesto of the shooter around the same exact time, and he had also released it on his Twitter page. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because oftentimes when instances like this happens, the media will take bits and pieces of a manifesto to create a framework around the motive, but in this circumstance, the media actually was quite quiet about the manifesto in and of itself. And I think that's newsworthy, but that's not the story here. The story is that I got banned for it. I got temporarily suspended because this is a part of the Twitch terms of service. You are not allowed, as it dictates right here in front of me, to even show a violent extremist manifesto on stream while denouncing it.
And by the way, I think I've said this before, but I agree that this is a bad rule. I think that this rule is something that should be overturned. I do not support this rule. I think it's should be banned for other reasons, but not for this.
This, I think, is not good for news and press freedom. And I said on Twitter, I'll take the suspension, but I hope Twitch changes its policy in the future. And I do believe they might. Having said...
Also, I think it's very funny. I don't know when I last saw Hassan speak this calmly and like rationally. Like usually the man is like mauling and shouting and raging at his chat or people he doesn't like with like a very like... with his vocal cords at a relatively high octave, but this is not what he's doing here. I'm kind of surprised.
Said that, how do we get here? Especially considering that I had covered manifestos of the Cybertruck explosion. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2008 Black Mustang V6 for verification. The Luigi Mangione manifesto. I do apologize for any strife or traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. The Wisconsin...
Good editing on this video, by the way. I don't know who the editor is, but good editing on the video.
School shooter manifesto. Some people think it's pure nothing, but because the hate they make, it ends up killing them without knowing it, which go right ahead. I don't mind, but kind of do at the same time. The literacy rates are abysmal in this country. The manifesto of Ryan Ruth. Dear world, this was an assassination.
Hey, it's Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin.
Abysmal in this country. The manifesto of Ryan Ruth. Dear world, this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I'm so sorry I failed you. Wait, how did he know? And also the Israeli diplomat shooters manifesto. The atrocities committed by Israelis against Palestine defy description and defy quantification. Why was this different? Why was this a big deal? I'm covering all of these.
Is he going to pretend that it's because this was a terrorist attack against Israel and that's the reason why he got banned? Or is he going to talk about the greater discussion around him supporting extremism and terrorism?
Different manifestos on stream, and I've never been banned for it. Well, I believe the reason why this was actually a little bit different is because there was a lot of outside pressure in the immediate aftermath.
There it is. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad he's being a little bit honest in this video. I was wondering if he was going to address the elephant in the room.
Of this shooting, the ADL, Apartheid Defamation League's very own Jonathan
in the aftermath of the shooting, I thought I was going to say because of like the whole Ethan Klein thing, him being exposed for extremism, like all that stuff.
The immediate aftermath of this shooting, the ADL.
Oh, okay. I take back my words of praise.
Defamation League's very own Jonathan Greenblatt went on CNN only hours after the shooting had taken place to make incredibly slanderous statements about me, stating that I was responsible for this. My rhetoric was responsible for this. Let's take a look.
All of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hassan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state.
This is slander through and through.
Oh my goodness. Slander? Seriously? Let's go back and hear what he had to say. Because that accurately describes Hassan Piker.
My rhetoric was responsible for this. Let's take a look.
All of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hassan Piker, who...
Well, okay, I will say. We gotta be honest, all right? If we're seeing lies emitted the mainstream media from the left or the right, attacking the left or the right, we must call it out. We see lies, falsehood, slander, misinformation, propaganda. We must call it out. So I do have an obligation to say that Hassan Piker is absolutely right here. This guy from the ADL absolutely lied about Hassan Piker, absolutely slandered him. He's not a gamer. He barely games. This is an egregious case of misinformation from CNN, and they need to really press their guests to be more accurate and to be more truthful when they're giving statements. I'm sure the rest of what he said is actually true. I'm poking fun, but yeah, to call him a gamer is kind of funny. I think it's probably best at the game Solitaire, but let's continue.
Regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state.
This is slander through and through. I do not apply.
Jewish people, I don't know, but the Jewish state, absolutely.
Awful genocidal language towards Jewish people. I don't believe that even a genocide that the Israeli government is doing justifies a genocide to the Israeli government or the Israeli people. I am not the one who...
Oh! So is he denouncing the whole from the river to the sea, Palestine would be free? Because you got to remember, for the river to the sea, Palestine would be free necessitates a genocide of the Jews in Israel. I mean, case closed. Because that means just like all of the land in the Palestinian region belongs to the Arabs and Palestinians there, and the Jews would be expelled. That's the goal, and that's what that chant means. So is he disavowing that movement now? Or maybe he's going to be softening his position because of the pressure that he's being put under, especially having been banned from Twitch? Maybe that's it.
Who is defending a genocidal state here. Jonathan Greenblatt is. Having said that, this slander continued with no pushback from the CNN anchor, which I think is rather strange.
Yeah, like how come the anchor wasn't like, what are you talking about? Hassan Piker isn't the gamer.
Should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed. This is a moment when we need to look ourselves in the mirror and say, we've got to stop this because the consequences are deadly.
I sort of disagree because I think that extremists should be able to have a platform because once you start like policing speech, then you start descending into fascism and authoritarianism. The problem is that this is a platform that is doing censorship. Like Twitch censors people, right? Like I think what Destiny is still banned from Twitch, and it's still not clear exactly what it is that he even did. But like if you are in a position where you can do censorship or you choose to do censorship, then yes, I'm going to say you need to be even, you need to be equal, and you need to be fair, which they're not doing to Hassan Piker. They're being extremely lenient. If you're trying to be a Wild West platform, like Kick, for example, absolutely keep going. Like let Kanye do all his streams or whatever. YouTube is a lot more lenient too. You know, keep on allowing folks to, you know, go live while having left-wing or right-wing views. Like you can let Steven Crowder stream on YouTube, and they also let the Young Turk stream on YouTube, as well as Tim Pool. So I don't have a view that every single platform needs to allow every single person to speak, but I do want people to be neutral. And I think that there should be more free speech and open places for folks who are a little bit more extreme to go to where they can still speak their mind while not offending the general public.
Here, Jonathan Greenblatt was making an implication that my rhetoric was responsible for this Israeli embassy staffer shooter going out and finding Israeli embassy staffers and shooting them.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know if the shooter actually watches Hassan Piker. But I mean, it's more accurate to say like people like Hassan Piker. It doesn't have to be him necessarily, but people like him who sort of have been doing their best to legitimize radical pro-intifada language and push that into the mainstream and make it seem like something that's acceptable when really it's not.
This is ridiculous. There is no connection between me and the shooter. The shooter actually followed a bunch of people. I was not one of them on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was not following me. What the do you mean? He was.
Wait, who's? I am not familiar with any of those people. I mean, it's kind of pixelated, but I'm not familiar with any of those
However,
folks.
following a bunch of, I mean, he was following Joe Weisenthal, you know what I mean? To Jonathan Greenblatt's statement, I replied with, Israel is an apartheid state doing a live stream genocide. I think it's wrong and dangerous to conflate these.
Oh my goodness. I'm not even going to unpack all that. Okay.
Actions with Jews and Judaism. The Apartheid Defense League doesn't because they think they can improve Israel's standing by silencing its critics. It, however, will not change the truth. And this is important to note because that's not where the story ends. During my coverage, there were a lot of people that stated that perhaps the embassy shooter was maybe a false flag operation. I do not believe that. Part of the reason why I covered the manifesto was precisely for this reason, to make sure that we understood the motives and we understood exactly.
Well, it's because it's good content, let's be honest.
What this shooter was
Hey,
intent.
and the same thing with Osama bin Laden. You know, I'm not going to hate the player. Well, I know some people wouldn't blame me if I hated this player, but you understand the saying. Let's continue.
To do, but that wasn't enough. There were the likes of E.L. Jacoby, a Hosborough guy on Twitter who lies at the behest of the state.
I don't know what Hasbro is. It sounds like I don't know. Is that like an anti-Semitic dog whistle? Let me go to Urban Dictionary to see what that is. Dictionary.com. Hasbro, when a Jew/Zionist is winning an argument. Okay.
Israel quite frequently, saying, breaking, Hassan Piker, hailed by the New York Times as the future of progressivism, tells his audience that the DC attack might have been a false flag, then immediately says the guy was genuine with his actions. This is glorification of terrorism. Now,
to be fair, I don't know if he glorified this specific instance. Saying that he was genuine in his actions is like not a sign of endorsement or support. I think Adolf Hitler was genuine in his actions. I don't support him though.
These two statements here are at odds with one another. But what's actually even crazier is that this is a 37-second video that is attached to this statement. Let's take a look.
But wasn't the stream taken down? I don't think you can blame him. I don't think you can blame him for taking a clip from a stream that has been taken down because of censorship, you know?
Look at that 37-second video. But like I'm not Mr. False Flag at all, but like every single thing that he did in the aftermath of the shooting is so fucking crazy that it's like you could not have fucking designed a incident like this. You could not have designed a better false flag incident like this. I'm not saying it is a false flag incident at all. I'm not saying that. I think this is just a one dude who is genuine in his actions and maybe, you know, a little bit brain broken. Okay. Most people,
I mean, he's literally doing the whole like conspiracy theory thing and speculating, which is absolutely fine to do. I do that all the time. I make it clear to be like, this is my conspiracy theory. I'm saying this is possible. I'm not saying that this is true, but nothing wrong with being like, oh, imagine if this was if this is a false flag, this is how I would make it. Like, it's a fair thing to say, I think, especially if you're doing long form coverage and it's not the first thing on your mind when you're looking at the news story at hand.
That retweeted this didn't even actually watch the video to see whether or not it actually matched up with what this person was saying. Now, why am I talking about this random account? It only got 6,000.
Wait a second. Did he upload the clip of him reacting to the manifesto? I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did.
Likes. I retweeted. I said a fascinating phenomenon nowadays is watching people clip things in context that I'm saying and then turn around and simply claim that I'm saying the opposite of what I'm saying in the clip. This is a 37 seconds long video and this dumbass lied about everything.
This
Why
is
am
fair.
I bringing this up?
Because if we're gonna like try to summarize what Hassan Piker said there, he basically said, this is not a false flag, but if this was a false flag, this is how I would design it. That's what he said. He didn't support or deny, he didn't support what the terrorists did there. I don't think he denied, or I don't think he condemned what the terrorists did in that clip. But he certainly wasn't supporting it, at least there. So we gotta be fair, right? I know a lot of y'all like to hate on Hassan Piker. I completely understand, but we gotta be honest and we gotta be fair here.
question. It's because the clip formulated by this account, which stated, Hassan Piker, star of Amazon's Twitch, says the attack sure looks like a perfect false flag. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The guy was genuine with his actions. How fucking absolutely gross is it that this is currently being streamed right now to 40,000 people?
And what's the name of this guy? The Dan dude. What's his name again? I know he works for/with Destiny. I forget his last name though. Destiny Dan Saltman. Dan Saltman is crazy. Like even before Hassan got even before Destiny got exposed for kind of being a creep, I was almost ready to stop watching him because of how crazy Dan Saltman was being and how Destiny was okay with doing like the whole like trying to start an adpocalypse on Twitch over anti-Semitism and like pro-terrorist propaganda on the platform, which by the way, I understand being up in arms. And I think that Dan has done some excellent work in compiling clips with the whole like Twitch or terrorists. I think that was fantastic. He's obviously a very talented programmer and web designer, but I think it's going a bit too far to then go to like AT&T and be like, oh, your money is going to a platform that's got this one terrorist and a whole bunch of gamers, but this one terrorist. Like, because at that point you're sort of holding the rest of the website hostage to get them to sort of like bend to your will. I think he was even successful in getting some ad sponsors to pull from Twitch. So not a big fan of that strategy at all. I am not a pro ad apocalypse guy.
Then it turned into this. Hassan Piker, hailed by the New York Times, the future of progressivism, tells his audience that the DC attack might have been a false flag. And yet, here is Jake Tapper retweeting this. So I guess Jake Tapper, one of the most important members of the media, who just came out with a book talking about how the media narratives did not match up with what the people were seeing in terms of Joe Biden's senility, is still doing ridiculous things like this.
Well, I think it's not ridiculous because, like, look, if I see a post that has text that says, oh, breaking, this person says this thing, isn't that bad? And it has a clip of that person, then I completely understand being like, okay, this is probably legit. I'm gonna boost this. Now, I think it's actually kind of funny because when it comes to me, when I look at posts like this, I do a lot more due diligence than that when it comes before just boosting things. Like, I'll see a clip, I'll look up the context of the clip. Sometimes I look up the original clip to make sure that the person is saying what is actually being claimed that they said. I will do a bit of research before I actually boost something generally. At the very least, I watch the clip that I'm boosting, which it doesn't seem like Jake Tapper did at all. Now, maybe he's busy. He doesn't feel like fact-checking everything that he sees on the internet. That's completely understandable. But I do think, I think if a layman can fact-check the posts that they boost, I think that Jake Tapper certainly can as well.
Ridiculous things like this. It doesn't make any sense. But of course, all of that pressure inevitably led to Twitch taking this action. I had covered manifestos in the past on my broadcast. None of those manifestos actually met the same level of scrutiny. This one did. And I don't believe this one did exclusively because it was about Israel. I think this manifesto was simply used as an opportunity to try to get me banned by gay.
There it is. He's right. I'm glad that he's actually kind of like pointing out, it's like, hey, this is an excuse. This is not the real reason I got banned. Okay, good. Because I thought he was going to admit it, but then he didn't. And now I'm glad that he's actually turning around and admitting it now.
Gaming the terms of service. I did not think I was going to get suspended, but I'll take it. The real reason the ADL and numerous other organizations are actively trying to come after me, however, is because Israel is falling out of favor. Because many Americans and many people in the Western world are now finally seeing the truth that Israel is an apartheid state that is built around an ethno-supremacist ideology, and that Israel is doing a live-streamed genocide. Yesterday, they killed a doctor's family. 9 of this doctor's children burned, charred. Images such as this can be seen all over people's timelines and all.
Yeah, they should have. Why? I don't know. This makes me upset because, like, I hate war. I hate civilian casualties. At the same time, I completely understand that this is in large part due to Hamas refusing to protect their own civilians and then actually doing the opposite, in fact, endangering their civilians, using equipment that the UN and the UNRWA, which I think are two entirely different organizations, gave them to build up the civilian infrastructure. Instead, used them to build terrorist tunnels that run underneath hospitals and run underneath schools. And I think one really bad side effect of Hamas's strategy, which is basically put a child in front of every bomb and a mom in front of every gun, the negative side effect is that sort of has excused almost everything that Israel has done, because Israel can now say, "Oh, we blew up that school because there was a terrorist in the basement or something," and it's entirely believable because of how Hamas has built up their infrastructure in society. If instead Hamas built up bunkers for the children to go underneath, bomb shelters, tried to create their own Iron Dome, tried to reinforce the civilian structures so that they'd be less susceptible to damage from rockets being fired by Israel, done more things just to protect the Palestinians who live in Gaza, then there would be less of a claim for Israel to basically indiscriminately bomb Gaza and then try to like take the whole thing over, which is what it seems like they're doing now, because they don't have their excuse at that point. But Hamas has basically just given them the keys to conquering all of Gaza, which I think is actually something that some radicals in the government have wanted to do for quite a long time now.
Over social media, because now people have unprecedented access to the victims of a genocide unlike ever before. This is the reason why Israel has fallen out of
bro only Palestinians can start a war and then claim that they're being genocided and that they're victims when they're losing the war. I'm getting sick and tired of this narrative. Hold on, let me see. I dropped something. Hold on. Dropped. Kind of annoying. Oh yeah, there it is. I was fiddling with something in my hand and I dropped it. But like, I'm just low-key annoyed by the whole narrative that like, if you attack somebody, then like you don't deserve any hate. But if you lose the war that you initiated, then everyone should be like rooting against the victors. Like, it's one thing to be like, I don't want to see people die. But it's another thing to be like, hey, in war, there is a winner and there is a loser. And honestly, the fact that the losers are victims at such scale is one reason why I don't like war and why I think war should be avoided at all costs, because the results of war can very often look like what we see in Gaza right now. And we've seen this in other places too. Even countries that were maybe on the wrong side of the war still had suffered pretty bad casualties, like Germans in World War II, Japan also. Like, no matter which side of a war you're on, whether you're on the good side or you're on the bad side, it's always sad to see what happens to the civilians. Mr. Pizza says, it's Newsbeat. Yes, it is Newsbeat. It is Newsbeat. What did Hassan do this time? He got banned. The supposed reason was because he was reading a terrorist manifesto, but I think the real reason is because he's been getting exposed lately for supporting terrorism and extremism, and so I think Twitch used this as an example to ban Hassan for a rule that he breaks all the time, but he never gets banned for. So kind of a unique instance here. Also, by the way, Mr. Pizza, some weird stuff I think is going on with my internet. So if the stream looks like it's lagging, whatever, I will be uploading the full VOD that should be a lot smoother than the stream. So just in case you're wondering.
Favor and has become a pariah state on the global stage. This is the reason why now Western leadership who have supplied Israel with arms in order to engage in such violent acts for the past 19 months, are finally turning around and stating that perhaps Israel should allow aid in, that perhaps Israel should stop doing war crimes. A former Likud far-right Israeli prime minister recently came out and said, enough is enough. Israel is doing war crimes. Israel has fallen so out of favor that
I agree, and I would consider myself like a Zionist to an extent, but I mean, he is right here from everything I understand.
Atlantic that a year ago wrote to rebut Hamas's allegations by letting journalists see the war up close would be a calculated risk. Even when conducted legally, war is ugly. It is possible to kill children legally if, for example, one is being attacked by an enemy who hides behind them. This was written on the Atlantic only a year ago. And now that very same Atlantic...
it's true. It's true.
Magazine is writing articles such as this one. It should not be controversial to plead for Gaza's children. Israel's limits on aid have put the region at critical risk of famine. Help is within reach, but it's not enough, and it's arriving too slowly.
Okay, but to be like, Israel should not be blockading, Israel should not be blockading Gaza is not the exact same as saying, Israel should not be attacking terrorists who are using children as human shields. So it's not like the Atlantic has like done a 180 in 1 year. I think that Hassan Piker is doing some deceptive framing here.
The reason why the tide is shifting is because the pressure valve is insurmountable.
Mr. Pizza says, I find that recording and streaming at the same time is what causes the stream to lag a lot. It depends on what your hardware is. I think this used to happen to me when I was streaming off of a laptop. I think with this computer, I'm starting to think that the computer's dying. Half the time when I try to start a stream on OBS, it freezes completely nowadays. But I do think that some of my siblings, knowing the time of night, I think there's probably someone in the house who's streaming. And I think because I'm relatively far away from the router, not super far away, but when people stream in this house, it does tend to mess with how my ability to stream. Like if they're like watching something on Netflix or whatever, it does sort of mess with my ability to stream. I'm not sure why that is the case. It shouldn't be the case. Now that I think about it, especially because we've got like Wi-Fi 6 and capable devices and routers. So, but yeah, I think that that's the real reason why everything is acting all strange.
Too many people know exactly what's going on. And as fascist ideology is a suicide cult, it seems like Israel is bringing the rest of the Western leadership down with it. Israel is no longer a democracy. You cannot be a democracy while you want to maintain an ethno-supremacist state that isn't.
I don't know if Israel's no longer a democracy. Did they get rid of their elections? No, I mean, maybe they have some free speech restrictions, which I wouldn't be shocked by. But I mean, they let people vote. I don't think they like suppress the votes or anything.
You cannot be a democracy while you want to maintain an ethno-supremacist state that is an apartheid state, and you certainly can't be a democracy while doing a genocide. But the Western world that seemingly was able to abide by and hope that the pressure goes away from the broader public are now being forced to listen to the demands being made by the public. So there is a interesting bargain here ahead of us. Will our politicians listen to our voices and try to maintain the presence of a democratic process, or will they go down with Israel? As I say here, every day that goes by, more and more people realize the truth. The very same institutions that spent countless hours defending and contextualizing Israel's genocide will now change their tune.
Well, if we're being honest, that's because Israel's behavior has changed. They were not as aggressive in the beginning as they are now. And I think that their behavior earlier on in the conflict was a lot more reasonable than it is right now. So, let's not kid ourselves and make it seem like everyone's just changing their minds because more and more kids are dying. It's because Israel's It's because Israel's strategy has changed.
Trying to platform me all you like, but you can't change what people have seen. One day, everyone will behave as though they were always against this. I'm Hassan Piker. I hope you can keep supporting me.
Why is YouTube censoring the word Piker in the subtitles? I don't get it.
Watching me on YouTube because Even if I get deplatformed from Twitch completely, I will still find a way. And even if I am deplatformed entirely from every single website, the truth will still come out.
Oh my goodness.
On that note, see you on Monday.
Bro really thinks he's on like Democracy Now! Or something. What is
Bye.
this? Oh my goodness. I love the like dislike ratio, how it's like not that great. Was the first thing came for the himbos, and I said nothing for I was a himbo. Second band. Oh, I guess this is useless because he's probably been deleting. Oh, this is funny. Unban Hassan. You cannot. It's impossible to translate this to English. But if you're not watching the stream, just go to the comment by Mr. Coffee Mr. Coffee576. It's kind of a funny comment there. I want to look up real quick and see if Hasanabi VOD channel uploaded the VOD from the day that he got banned. Is this it? Is this the deleted VOD? Wait. So is there actually a segment here where he like, let me see here. I'm gonna look up manifesto. Man, it's taking a long time for that load. Oh, okay, let me see. Manifesto.
What year was the manifesto published? It shows in the first pages. Let's see. H. Kerr and Company, 1906. Where would it say exactly?
I'm not seeing where did he? No, he didn't react to the manifesto, so at least not in that stream it looks like. Anyways, yeah, it's nice to see Hassan be at least a little bit honest about the reason why he got banned. But I sort of hate how he's like sort of pitched this to make himself seem like some sort of like grand martyr for censorship, when honestly he should have been banned like a long time ago. I think it's too much. It's too much, and I really hate that Twitch is going to use this as a excuse to not do anything to Hassan Piker at all in the future. All right, okay, so I'm going to react to this video here. I'm going to react to this video here. I'm going to react to another cat video by Kat Abugazela. Now, my goal for this, I'm going to be reacting to every single video that Kat's made since her announcement to run for Congress. That's my goal. But another goal I have is to be able to say her name correctly without stuttering or pausing. So I think I'm getting it down, and I'm only 2 videos deep. I think it's Kat Abugazela. I hope I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, I've got a few months to get it right. So anyways, we saw her video earlier. I thought that she was relatively interesting, and I think that she had some good points. I think that she's a little bit in denial about how popular progressive and woke ideologies are in America. She's like one of those people who's like, oh, wokeness isn't a real thing. What's wokeness? It's a boogeyman fake term that doesn't really mean anything. But I think beyond all of that, I love how she nailed that the reason why the Democrats aren't being successful right now is because they're not focusing on the things that will actually improve quality of life. And there are many Democrat specific policies like free healthcare, for example, that will, at least in theory, increase and improve the quality of life for Americans. And so Democrats need to go back to supporting those policies.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk are dismantling our country piece by piece, and so many Democrats seem content to just sit back and let them. So I say it's time to drop the excuses and grow a fucking spine. I'm Kat Abugazale, and I'm running for Congress in Illinois' 9th District.
I mean, to say that you're growing a freaking spine is an interesting thing to say just before announcing that you're running for Congress.
Unfortunately, this party has become one where you have to look to the exceptions for real leadership, as the majority work from an outdated playbook. We need a makeover.
Honestly, kind of the same on the right too. Like, I feel like the only good leader on the right is like Thomas Massey, and everyone else is just falling in lockstep with Donald Trump and the MAGA cult, which is unfortunate.
Majority work from an outdated playbook. We need a makeover, which means we need a vision that's bigger than what we've been told is possible. There is absolutely no reason you shouldn't be able to afford housing, groceries, and healthcare with some money left over. Families should have free childcare. Social Security should be expanded. And our inalienable rights shouldn't be dependent on who's in power. That means...
So does she support gun rights? Wait a second, let me see. I'm going to go to her channel. And I'm going to look up gun. Yeah, I'm going to look up gun. I mean, here she's upset that people are not mentioning gun control
I advocate
as a solution. Yeah, it says Fox has proposed at least 50 solutions to a mass shooting, and none of them are gun control. So she's going to support gun control, but also say that no right to be infringed. Okay, I definitely believe you. Like, not to say that I ever like completely trusted someone who was like a self-avowed progressive, but you know, when I see stuff like this, it's just fair to point that out. Mr. Pizza in the chat says, free healthcare? Yeah, unlikely to improve America's healthcare at all. The UK has free healthcare, but you wait years to get into anything. I hear that there are a few things, like, the tricky thing about criticizing countries with universal healthcare is that there's certain procedures that sometimes they do pretty well. The problem is that it's very easy for certain procedures to get backlogged, and then those backlogs basically never get fixed. So we do see this in the UK. I think we see this in Canada for sure. Like, people leave other countries and come to the United States for healthcare. But we also have to be honest that for some of those, especially European Western states, there are certain procedures that they do very quickly and very cheaply. So sometimes people will leave the United States and go to other countries to get their healthcare done. But if we're talking about a holistic, overall, quality healthcare system, yes, the United States, I think, certainly excels in that. Of course, the problem is affordability. It's a case where you get what you pay for, right? And so I think it's one of those things you got to be honest too, where it's like, you know, the doctors have to be paid, right? People say that healthcare is a right, but we don't have a right to force a doctor to do anything for us, and that's where things get tricky.
Standing up to authoritarians, not shrinking away when the fight gets tough. And while current Democratic leadership...
I like this. I like how she's saying that she opposes authoritarians, but the thing that irks me so much is that usually these people will turn a blind eye to authoritarians when they're when they're on the left. So, for example, did she ever have problems with FISA courts? Did she ever have problems with the FBI going to Twitter and saying, "Hey, censor these stories because they might hurt Joe Biden's chances at winning the election"? Probably not. I'm guessing. Probably not. Either she disagrees with him, or either she doesn't disagree with him on principle, or she is sort of in denial about whether or not those things even happened and would call them conspiracy theories if she was confronted with them. So, nice words. Not sure if I believe them, though, coming from her.
It might be fine cowering to Trump. I'm not. I've spent my entire career reporting on the far right and being attacked by them as a result. In fact, just a few months ago, Elon Musk's lawyers deposed me here in Chicago to ask about my mean tweets. Look, I thought comedy was legal again. This is all to say, I'm not scared of standing up to these people. I know.
What was she saying? Like, if you were you supporting terrorist organizations? I think you probably should have been deposed then, if that's the case. Like, maybe I don't know if you supported Hamas or not, but if you were supporting Hamas, maybe don't support Hamas. I really wish there was more context here about which tweets she was actually getting deposed for. Mr. Pizza says, I still say healthcare here in America is some of the worst. Insurance is becoming worthless. Doctors are greedy. Doctors don't listen to patients. It's a very common thing. It's kind of interesting. I'm no expert on American healthcare, but from my understanding of the American healthcare system, First of all, the American healthcare system is not worthless. It's still pretty good. It's just expensive is the problem. Two is that in some cases, healthcare, there's certain situations that I've seen where someone doesn't have healthcare coverage, and so the state will basically cover the fee. But then if someone does have coverage, but the procedure isn't covered, they end up paying more than someone who didn't have coverage at all. So it's kind of like weird things like that in the American healthcare system that need to be fixed. I think that the whole American healthcare system needs to be revamped. I'm not saying that it needs to be, socialized, but I do think it needs to be revamped and improved, because there's just like weird wonky things like that happen where it's just like it doesn't make any sense that you're paying for healthcare coverage, and because you're paying for healthcare coverage for a procedure that you're not covered for, that you have to pay more than someone else who doesn't have coverage has to pay. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And saying doctors are greedy, doctors aren't listening to patients. The problem with that is you've got too much intervention of pharmaceutical companies giving doctors benefits and incentives for prescribing certain drugs, for example. And so it's basically like a very results-based economy and results-based industry where it's like the more pills that you can push onto your patients, the more money that you'll get in return. So it's like there are bad incentives built into the American healthcare system.
I know how they think, and I know how to beat them. But my campaign itself is going to be different too, because I don't want to wait a year to help people. We're focused on meeting constituent needs with one simple rule. What if we didn't suck? My campaign and I would rather spend our money on book drives and clothing exchanges and public events than fancy fundraisers for rich donors. I also want my campaign to be as transparent as possible. That's why I'll be posting regular videos about the costs and steps of running for office. We all deserve better. We deserve human rights and financial freedom and a party that stands up to authoritarians.
No, you know me. I voted for Trump. I don't like human rights. Human rights are terrible. They're awful. No. I'm just a little bit annoyed by people whining and not genuflecting. That's not the word, but like virtue signaling about human rights when they can't even articulate which human rights are being stripped away. It's annoying. Hold on.
We deserve human rights and financial freedom and a party that stands up to authoritarians. We deserve to thrive, not just survive. And I plan to fight for those ideals both on the campaign trail and in Congress. If you want to know more about me and what I believe, you can go to catforillinois.com. I do need to mention that campaigns cost money and ask you to contribute what you can. But I promise your donation will not
or become a member on her YouTube channel. A sub on Twitch. I don't know.
Be wasted on old, ineffective tactics. No spammy guilt trip texts, no focus groups to test my views, and no grifty consultants who care more about their paycheck than actually winning.
It'd be so funny if she's literally doing this just for content and is successful and keeps on making YouTube videos for the content.
Challenge the status quo, and if our leaders won't do it, we will. I'm Kat Abu-Ghazaleh, and I'm running for Congress.
Abu Ghazaleh. Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry for saying your name wrong. Abu Ghazaleh. I gotta keep on saying it so I get it right. Thanks for pronouncing your own name. Appreciate that.
Because it's time for Democrats to do more.
Okay, so she says she has a website. Let's go to the website. Cat for Congress. Issues. Learn more about my campaign's top issues. Anti-authoritarianism. Oh my, these are a lot of issues here. Donald Trump tech billionaires and the Republican Party have banded together to rapidly and illegally break this country. Oh, have we tried turning it off and turning it back on again? All at the expense of our most vulnerable. Their vision is fascist. Sure, buddy. One of a militarized country where only certain people, a few dozen rich men, have a seat on the table. Oh man, this sort of feels like how long has Kat been following politics? I'm just curious. I'm gonna go to her YouTube channel, go to videos, oldest. Okay, that sounds about right. 2 years. Yeah. If you follow politics long enough, you'll understand that a few dozen rich men is not all on the right, right? There are a few dozen rich men on the left as well. Like, yes, having the elites control certain politicians is a big problem. I think Donald Trump actually kind of broke that, but he's basically become his own rich man that everyone is sort of like kowtowing to, which itself is an issue. But yeah, I think that if you give her enough time, let's be honest and say that she's being a good faith pundit and politician here. Give her enough time, and she'll soon see that the same issue that she's seeing, where it's just like the entire power of a political party is concentrated down to one or a few people, is exactly the same on the left. And also a militarized country. It's kind of funny. I wonder what she's referring to there. Says here, we cannot and we will not and cannot let them win. Historical anti-fascist movements all prove one thing: the only way to properly fight fascism is loudly, proudly, and every single day. And that principle must be upheld by those in public office. This means actually fighting, not just writing letters or wearing matching outfits like many Democrats did at Trump's recent address to Congress. Hold on. My bad. I thought she was going to have policy positions here. Here she's just saying authoritarianism is bad, but like, I guess that's fair, but a lot of that is not necessarily saying like, here's what I don't like about authoritarianism. Here are the authoritarian things that Trump is doing that I don't support. Not exactly what she's doing here. Says, I refuse to stand by as Trump and Elon Musk attack my constituents. Okay. Are your constituents illegals? I don't know. Are they MS-13? I don't know. As your congresswoman, I will take my experience fighting the far right to Capitol Hill and beyond. I will not vote for authoritarian bills in the name of compromise. Okay, that's nice. I will not abandon or demonize vulnerable groups to cater to the right. That also is nice. I will not change my stances for fear of retaliation. That's also very nice. Very cool. I love this. I love all of this right here. Even if I disagree with her politically, like this is great. I wish more Republicans would say this too. Instead, I'll continue to speak out against authoritarians. I will take the fight to them, whether it's the House floor or whichever government offices Elon Musk's minions decide to camp in. I will do everything in my power to make sure constituents know they are not alone. Whether it's regular updates online or in-person town halls, I promise you will not be left out in the cold. Okay? I'm sure that appeals to certain folks. Basic existence. What? Basic existence? Mr. Peter says examples: Medicare only covers like 80% of stuff, leaving you with the rest. Now with Medicaid, depending on income, you have to pay $616 a month for it to do anything. I mean, because of the separation between church and state, I'm surprised it costs $616 a month. Like, I feel like it would cost like $50 more. But anyways, I mean, to be fair, like Medicare covering 80% of stuff is actually pretty, like, that's pretty substantial. 80% of your stuff being covered is like major. Like, you're mad that Medicare only covers 80% of your stuff instead of 100%? That's a pretty sweet deal, especially considering the state of American healthcare at the moment. Mr. Pia says, I'm just glad I don't follow politics, news, etc. It makes life better. I mean, yeah, you're right there. But yeah, basic existence, whatever that means. Says here, the United States is the richest country in the world, and yet most Americans can't even afford a $1,000 emergency expense. We have the most billionaires of any country, but also the most medical bankruptcies. And while prices have increased by 50% in the last 15 years, the federal minimum wage has stayed stagnant, a mere $7.25. This is fair. I actually think that it would make sense for the federal minimum wage to be updated and literally be strictly tied to the rate of inflation. My problem with that is, of course, the state would then change the definition of what inflation is or what inflation looks like, so that they don't have to increase the minimum wage as much. On principle, I'm not the biggest fan of the minimum wage, but I mean, rewind the clock like 100 years and we can see why minimum wage is actually necessary. So I understand why a minimum wage is needed. Says, this is nonsense. We deserve better. You should be able to comfortably afford housing, groceries, and healthcare each month with plenty of money left over. There's no reason you should have to take an Uber to the hospital to afford an ambulance bill. That's a really good point. It's really crazy. I mean, not gonna lie, like I literally I rolled my ankle playing basketball, and people were like, "Oh, that looked really bad," and it hurt a lot. I was limping to the bench. And people were like, "Are you gonna go to the hospital?" I was like, "No." And one of the main reasons is because I don't want to get a hospital. I don't want to get an ambulance bill for me going to the hospital to see whether or not I was injured. I was like, if I'm still hurting in a couple days and it hasn't gotten any better, then I know I need to actually go to the hospital. But my foot's feeling like 99% better now, so I know that I probably wasn't injured, and that would have been for naught. If I knew for sure that I was actually injured, I would have gone to the hospital. But I wasn't sure, so I didn't go. Well, Elon Musk hides away to his own personal compound. Bro, how are you complaining about the economy while letting Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world, live rent-free in your mind? Now, I say that's unfair. That's unfair. Invoking Elon Musk's name in things that he is not even connected to or related to is kind of, I don't want to say pathetic, but it's kind of weird and lame. Let's see here. Our existence isn't merely a means of profit for the richest people in society. Hold on, wait, let me check this real quick. I just want to make sure I have no space to record the rest of the stream. Okay, I do. All right. Our existence isn't merely a means for profit of profit for the richest people in society. But I think in a capitalist society, it's helpful though. And so if you improve the quality of life for American citizens and allow them to be richer, they can buy more things, and therefore, theoretically, companies gain more profit. So companies being benefited by the existence of those in the middle classes, I think is actually helpful to an extent. These ideas shouldn't be controversial and are at the very core of my campaign. We're often told that it's a lot more complicated than you think, but it doesn't have to be. We need more people in Congress to see. Actually, you know what? I'm running low on time. I'm going to cut back to this later. I think I'm just going to cut this out of the video version of this. But yeah, this is interesting. I know that Kat has a YouTube. I know that Kat has her own video. Not video. I know that Kat has her own website called Cat for Illinois, so I'll be going on there to take a look at her stances at some point. But she's got a lot of nice words in her video, that's for sure. I don't know if that means that I support everything she stands for, but the one thing that I will support about her, and the one thing I will like about her, is that she seems like someone who would be very consistent and someone who would be principled. Very much. And on the right, you see Thomas Massey. You see Ron and Rand Paul. They were very principled. She seems like someone who'd be very principled, kind of like one of those folks on the left where, yeah, sure, maybe they have some wacky ideas, but the one thing you can expect about them is that they're honest politicians who are genuine in their views. So I do wish Kat some luck, because she seems like she very much wants to improve quality of life for Americans in a way that you do not see from most politicians. But there's probably going to be a limit to how much I can support her. But hey, we will follow her political career with much interest. I think that's where I'll leave that there. All right. Let's see. Mr. Pizza in the chat says, well, to be fair, Medicare only covering 80% is an issue to elderly people who are low income and don't get a lot of money. Now, if you're rich, then 80% is a sweet deal for them. I mean, you're supposed to save for your retirement, though, right? If you did not save for your retirement, it's not the government's fault. You should have saved, right? I know that there's what is it called? For the elderly, there's Social Security that they're supposed to get. But it's up to you to make sure that you're taken care of in the future, right? It's not. Now, if the economic realities of when you were working prevented you from doing that, then that's a different story. But that's not the case for boomers. Boomers were gifted and blessed with a pretty good economic situation, so you can't really blame anyone else for that. Mr. Pizza says, I will say America's economy, though, is like STDs, is getting pretty bad. I don't know. Actually, there are lots of ways to treat STDs, so like it's not as bad as it used to be. The economy has not recovered in that sense, I would say. But I will say, like, inflation, always a problem. Constantly printing money, running up the national debt. I think at some point it's got to come to a head. So yeah, I do agree. America is sort of living on borrowed time if you're just looking at the economy and borrowing debt alone. So I think we're in agreement there. So I was invited to be in a wrestling tournament, and of course I accepted. And this is not one that happened in real life. This is one that happened on the internet, and actually through simulation on a WWE 2K video game that was hosted. This is a tournament that was hosted by Mr. Pizza. He put in a lot of internet personalities, and I am grateful to be one of the characters in this tournament. I don't know if there are any storylines. If there are, I'm sure I'll hear them in the commentary. But this is my first appearance in the tournament. I appeared both here as well as in this world title match. But let's first react to my appearance against Fresh Cut Slim in an elimination qualifier in Season 3 of PWS.
Welcome back to PWS. It is
Mr. Pizza doing commentary. Nice. I'll listen to Mr. Pizza do the commentary as well.
3, episode 5. We have yet another Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup here, and it is going to be an interesting battle because we have 2 new debuting superstars, as you probably guessed it.
Let's go.
Once more, this time we have the debut here of Fresh Cut Slim. Fresh Cut Slim, formerly known as Charmix.
Yeah, you're looking like an alien.
Here, and he will be facing off against not a newbie, Streams, in this contest. Again, like the other matches, this will be contested under extreme rules because we already know why. And look, you're heading into an elimination chamber. You're going to be battling it out with...
Yo, not gonna lie, like if I was in that situation in real life, I'd be scared. I don't know if I would continue the match. This dude over here is walking with this creepy alien mask. Like this is insane.
Ethan McCoy for the World Heavyweight Championship. So you're gonna have to be able to go through a little bit of violence in order to get to the chamber, because the chamber's not gonna be very forgiving either. So here we have Fresh Cut Slim. It's gonna be very interesting to see how he competes here. You know, we haven't seen anything of him on PWS before, I don't believe. So it's gonna be interesting. He's pretty confident, I would obviously say. Which,
yeah, he looks very confident.
Again, as we already know, is a good thing. If you've got some confidence heading into a match, that's gonna maybe boost your chances of winning. But again, it's just interesting here because you have 2 superstars debuting, so...
Yo, the crowd seems to love him, so I wonder who's supposed to be the heel in this scenario.
They can either...
I also wonder what the skill sets are going to be between me versus Fresh Cut Slim.
Be some of the greatest superstars you've ever seen, or they might get absolutely demolished. It's always fun to see what happens in these sorts of matches.
So dramatic.
You just gotta wonder who's gonna be walking out, if it's gonna be Fresh Cut Slim or not a newbie. And you always have to wonder, like, and this is like a common question too, like, with these debuting superstars, one of them has to go to the chamber. Is it possible that one of these superstars only second ever matches becomes world champion? It's very possible.
Yo,
you never know until you get there. But regardless, we have
there we go
here. And not a newbie, he's got a lot of swag going on.
Don Newby. Yeah, I was about to say the swag. Like I was about to say, like, you know, gotta feign some confidence. I know we got a guy in a scary alien mask, but you know, gotta pretend that you're confident and excited a little bit, you know.
Right now, he's very, very confident in himself. Like Fresh Cut Slim coming down the ring, he was pretty confident, but Don Newby he's got a lot more confidence than Fresh Cut Slim, it seems. He's dancing around in the crowd. The crowd seems to be pretty well behind Don.
I like the intro you picked for me because this is actually kind of something similar that I would do. This is kind of something I would do. Mr. Pizza says, "LOL, I like how you're not even questioning some of the looks of the arena. Like how the arena looks. I mean, the arena looks pretty good. I mean, this 2K, the graphics are pretty nice. But it's like I also don't know like who like the fan base of like in this universe or in this tournament, like who folks are sort of siding with. So I do agree with what you're saying in the chat. Like we do have to hop on a VC sometime, probably not tonight, but we do need to hop on a VC sometime to like break down sort of like the backstory and everything that's going on with the PWS. It'd be really nice to see, especially now that I'm a member of it. You know, I think I should be up to date with everything that's going on now in that tournament.
I think the crowd are a little more behind him than they are Fresh Cut Slim. So it's
I can hear the crowd very much. Like he's saying that the crowd is more to me, but like I don't really hear much cheering from me. I don't hear many boos though. So
not gonna be flexing off his dance moves here. I mean,
There's some
he
cheers.
is good like that. So we'll just have to see here. And honestly, I think now maybe you're having the, I'd say the flashiest attire.
I like how you got me in the bands.
So he's definitely got the more brighter look going. As this matchup is underway, and Fresh Cut Slim is done because he just drops his face into his knees, stomping on his arm right now. And it looks like Fresh Cut Slim has the early advantage here. He's stomping on the hand. I'm not a newbie. Fresh Cut Slim had enough of his dancing and just wanted to get down
I'm not going to be able to stream tonight.
That's tripping Fresh Cut Slim there right at the leg. Stomp
good. Okay.
Now he's got an arm locked in. He's got Fresh Cut Slim locked in and twisting his shoulder.
Nice.
Dislocated shoulder. He's looking for something, but Fresh Cut Slim slips out.
Come on.
But not a
Okay, good.
Fresh Cut Slim ain't having it. Slaps a newbie in the face.
I was worried that Fresh Cut Slim would try to knock me out and I wouldn't be prepared. But
right now, not a newbie with another. I mean, these two just massive slaps and chops at each other. They just want to fight, it seems here. And not a newbie.
Nice. Yes, let's go. Come on. I get to defend against the slaps. What am I doing?
And Fresh Cut Slim telling no.
You can't get away with that.
Each other, the taste out of each other's mouth. I mean, the brutality. And these two hammering away. These two are serious about fighting here. Hammering away with rights on each other. And big forearm shot.
Okay, there we go. Get him. Yeah. There we go.
Putting shots in the face, rake up the back, and not a newbie.
I like this.
He's up there, twisting around.
Got the upper hand here, it seems.
And not a newbie, getting the better of
Nice.
These two on the outside of the ring now. And Fresh Cut Slim is looking to recover from absolutely getting his head battered in.
Who is that in the middle? Is that I don't know who that is in the middle. It looks familiar though.
These two running over to one another, but not really catches Fresh Cut Slim behind him.
Is that legal?
Sledgehammer. And big running knee strike right there. Fresh Cut Slim is not.
Hey, I'm a politician, you know. I'm a political pundit. Hey, ends justify the means, okay? Let's
stay down for nothing. This guy not a newbie by the back of the head now, whipping him into the ring now. This is going to be quite the interesting contest here. What do we got? Oh, and choking him out. I mean, it's dirty, but he's trying to grab, but non-newbie kicks up anyway.
Nice.
And Fresh Cut Slim doing a really good job of isolating
non-newbie here. Come on.
Slowing his offense down as he whips him off the ropes. And there it is, a big double spine buster right there. Shades of Triple H.
No.
And that is
I gotta get him. There we go. Okay, good.
He's most definitely got the wind knocked out of him from that
can't lose this
spine
quickly.
buster.
Come on.
Trying to catch his breath in the corner now. He's fighting back now.
Okay, nice. Okay, good recovery.
Is he looking for it? Maybe looking for the Three Amigos, but no. Fresh Cut Slim slips out of it, but he gets an elbow.
Dang, I thought I was gonna slam him to the ground there. This is good though. I'll take
Slim
this.
is in a bad way right now.
See if we can slam him to the ground.
Some sort of submission locked in, but Fresh Cut Slim gets an elbow drop with an arm drag right there.
People trying to lift Fresh Cut Slim up is not working.
Out of him, it seems. But not a newbie, very fast-paced superstar as we're coming to find out. Whereas Fresh Cut Slim prefers a more grounded pace, but there it is in a slingshot.
Nice.
Not a newbie flexing with one arm there, showing off his.
Come on, Mr. B says I made this custom arena here. The ramp says Rhino stuff. Should this E-Pro in the middle of the ring and a mute analytics on legs on the barricade? I knew that the person on the barricade looked familiar, but I wasn't sure who that was. This is kind of like janky and weird. I did notice E-Pro there in the middle there.
Right,
eventually.
well, one.
Come on.
And only only a 1 count.
Oh,
Fresh Cut
dang.
Slim not gonna
Fresh Cut
have
Slim
any
is
of it.
strong.
But Fresh Cut Slim is back to his feet and a pedigree to not from out of nowhere. That could be it. 1.
No, this is the second time I've gotten pinned. This is not looking great.
He just manages to kick out. We could have had a qualifier in Fresh Cut Slim right there. He's calling down a newbie up for something. This guy got it. Whipping down a newbie off the rope. Drop down.
Okay, nice.
Leapfrog.
Come on.
And a big knee strike right there. And now not newbie rolling him over and drilling forearms right into his face.
Oh, why did I get up? I should have kept pummeling him.
Fresh Cut Slim, you get up right now. Come on. And a big chop. Kick to the gut. Chop again. And a pop up. There it is. Hurricane Rana. Not a newbie.
This is good commentating.
Back up. What is he going to look for here?
I do wish your commentating was louder than the music, though. But
weaponry here. That's going to be quite the interesting thing. Yeah, the kendo stick.
I love the crowd cheering for me.
Stick shot right there, right into the shoulder blade, or maybe around the upper.
There we go. There we go.
1 and 2, and Fresh Cut Slim hanging in there, and not a newbie.
No, that was 3. No, I was robbed. Bro, if I lose this, I'm going to say it was robbed. I'm going to contest this, and I'm going to ask for a rematch, bro. Like, no.
No. That's going to take a lot more than just a kendo stick shot to win the match. And now, what are we going to see here? The lockup again. And oh, not newbie was looking for an uppercut there. He kind of missed. Oh, Fresh Cut Slim trying to sidestep there. Oh, turn around, standing switch. My God. Actually, it's hard to call as there's a Russian leg sweep there.
Oh, it's tough. That's tough.
Slim seems to have the upper hand now as 1. And that's 2. And not a newbie just managing to kick out there.
Oh, good. I'm glad I kicked out in time.
I don't blame him. I thought he
very
had
close,
it too.
very close.
And now he's got newbie up.
No, I've got to back away. Man, I've got to back away and then come in with like some punches. Like close combat, Fresh Cut Slim is way too strong.
And I can't exactly blame him. I mean, you want to control the match to your pace. If you can do that, you have a better chance of winning. And now
oh no, Fresh Cut Slim's coming with his own weapon. I think it's over for me.
Not newbie, look for an elbow drop. I mean, it kind of worked.
Okay,
maybe, but,
nice. Nice dodge at first, but nice. Wait, I gotta pick up the chair. I gotta pick up the chair.
Resiliency, taking a chair shot to the head, getting busted open, and then instantly tipping up and knocking the chair into your opponent's face. Quite good stuff there. To nice from
I was not expecting myself to do that. There we go. There it is. Nice.
And is that going to be it?
Okay, this should be it. Let's see.
And Fresh Cut Slim still hanging in there. Now not a newbie. Calling him up. He's not done. Not a newbie. He's fired up.
I like this. I like this.
Here? Just picking Fresh Cut Slim up. He's got him, bringing him over to the corner. The referee is spazzing out. But there we have a massive shoulder breaker right there. Not a newbie. Kick to the gut.
There we go. I'm finally wearing him down.
Brain buster. But Fresh Cut
Come
Slim
on.
is
Gotta get him to the ground. I gotta get him to the ground. It's the big thing.
He's gonna do a nice drop down right there into the corner.
That was brutal, you know? I mean,
Slim back up after a brain buster instantly.
He really should have slammed me to the ground. I don't think it's gonna take out as much of my energy as he would like.
That can only mean bad stuff, as he has a ladder, bringing a ladder into play now. That's not good. And he's back to the ring now. He's back to his feet. Manages to catch him. Shot
okay,
to the low back.
Good. Yeah, don't let him use that ladder. Don't let him use that ladder.
And a big power slam on the ladder. Bringing the ladder into play is completely backfired on Fresh Cut Slim. And Fresh Cut Slim is in a horrible way right now after getting power slammed on the ladder. And not newbie's just hammering.
Let's go.
Climbs to the ladder. And not a newbie, he's hooking Fresh Cut Slim up. What is he doing here? And a lion tamer right on the ladder. That is going to be agonizing pain. And Fresh Cut Slim taps out.
That's how you debut.
It only made sense.
In the PWS.
A lion tamer on the ladder? That's brutal right there. Not a newbie.
Yo, the refs tried to rob me. They tried to rob me, but I wouldn't let them because I've got good FICO coverage or whatever. I don't know what that is. what is it called? There's a coverage that prevents you from your money getting stolen or whatever. I've got good insurance. Let's just say that.
Right there.
They tried to rob me, but I came back and I still took the crown
he
here.
He showboated a lot. I can't blame him. I mean, he just got a big victory here. And not a newbie. Not a newbie's going to be the one qualifying for the
awesome.
Elimination Chamber.
I wish the crowd was a little bit louder for me. It sounded like the crowd certainly was leaning towards Fresh Cut Slim here. But hey, I'll take the victory. Hey, if you guys want to boo me, I'll take the W, and I'll take the boos as long as it comes with some W's. So
great stuff from Not a Newbie. And with that being said, I have been Mr. Pizza, and I will catch you all in the next Elimination Chamber qualifier.
Very cool. You know, not gonna lie, I didn't think that I was gonna win. So when I saw that I was the elimination round, I was like, oh, maybe they brought me in as like a wild card or something. But yeah, like very clearly, Fresh Cut Slim had a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and a lot of strength. But you know, I got more endurance. I come in fast and I stay fast. So those are some keys to success. Now, I ended up. Let's see here. So I was invited to the PWS to be in a wrestling tournament. It's virtual, right? It's online, CPU versus CPU simulations. But with Mr. Pizza doing some live commentary here, I was in the third iteration of PWS. And I made it to the Elimination Chamber after beating Fresh Cut Slim. Now, I don't know who my opponents are going to be here. So I'm very curious to see how things turn out. But here is the performance. What is this? The cage? Yo, who is this? And I'm there. Let's go. Let's go.
The finale of PWS Season 3 is upon us. We are finally here at the Elimination Chamber. Things are heating up here. Ethan McCoy coming out now in his Plague Doctor outfit. This is going to be quite the interesting showdown here.
I will say this is
because
intimidating.
Ethan is here defending against Don Ethan, Vanos, H2O Delirious, Not a Newbie. I mean, this is going to be quite the uphill battle here.
This is a lot of
and he's
people.
also defending against the new debuting Anthony. So it's going to be quite the interesting battle here because everyone has fought so hard to get here in the chamber.
Very true.
And, I mean, Ethan also fought hard this season as well. He did defend his title in an open challenge, which he was successful in retaining against. But that doesn't mean he's going to walk out of the chamber champion, because you got to remember, Ethan as champion he requested that he start this matchup. He wants to be one of the starting competitors. He doesn't want to just be locked in a pod and come out last or anything like that and just hightail it out of here at the championship. No, he wants to fight. He wants to defend that championship with all his heart, with all his might. That's what he's going for, which is exactly why he's coming out to start this matchup. And, I mean, look, props to Ethan, right? Not many other people, if they were world champion right now, they would take the easy way out to ensure they keep the championship. But not Ethan. He's going to ensure that he goes through this matchup from start to finish. And the crowd, they're very hyped for this matchup. Ethan has taken off his Plague Doctor outfit.
Is it E-Productions?
Handing his championship to the referee because he knows that
Oh, no,
it's time to go.
That's Ethan.
Starting out with Ethan is going to be Don Ethan. That's right. We have an Ethan showdown to start out the chamber here.
Where's that outfit?
I mean, now Don Ethan, I mean,
not the outfit,
honestly,
but the,
I think a lot of people are kind of surprised that Don
New
Ethan made
Day.
it into the chamber, you know. He hasn't exactly had the most successful career so
crazy.
far. But he's no stranger
I
to
love the swag,
challenging
though.
for the world championship. Remember, in his debut, he was willing to take on Lennox back when he was still champion in his debut. He fought with everything he had, but he couldn't win the championship. But regardless, it didn't detour him because Don Ethan was also one of the people who helped Ethan win the world championship last season from Lennox. So he's no stranger to gold, but he's also no stranger to competition. The World Championship, folks, up for grabs. This is gonna be one hell of a battle, and flying it straight away, and the Ethans are going at it here. Don Ethan look for a springboard tornado DDT, but Ethan, what is he doing here? Oh my god, he hits like a gator roll, and now he's just picking him up and slamming him on the ground. Jeez, some technical mat-based wrestling for me pro. You don't usually see that. Don Ethan misses his shot there, and now they're blocking, going back and forth right now, and Don Ethan whipping E-Pro into the ropes.
The sponsor is Prime. I'm not expecting
and
that.
a big drop kick. Nice stuff from Don Ethan, and Don Ethan going for the cover straight away. Only a count of one, but you gotta think, like, you gotta try at least. And E-Pro spazzing out with that huge clothesline and hits a release German suplex from behind. Wow, absolute brutality here as we're counting down to the next person coming in the pod. Referee getting in the way, but E-Pro blasting Don Ethan with a clothesline. And now Don Ethan looking for a dropkick from behind.
Savage.
No. And now Don Ethan fighting back with a punch to the gut. And the third person coming out, H2O Delirious, is out next. Now, E-Pro and H2O Delirious, they are no stranger to competition. They fought each other at the end of Season 1. And E-Pro is the first person to ever pin H2O Delirious. So he's got that track record about him. As H2O is just going after Don Ethan. And now he's turning his attention to E-Pro. Look, H2O Delirious, he does not care. He's just going to get in there and beat you up. But E-Pro fighting back against H2O Delirious. Big elbow drop. E-Pro is no stranger, but Don Ethan from behind with a...
The tough thing about this is if the two people who are fighting are not winded, and then you go in, they could actually gang up on you and take you out. Going 1v2 is actually not easy. I understand what Mr. Pizza was saying about, like, being in last to ensure that you win. I could get that, because at least you ensure that you make it to the end. And also the person you're fighting is probably going to be tired after going through all those other people. But if those people gang up on you, bro, it's lights out. Like, I understand H2O is like kind of coming out there fresh against like Ethan and Don Ethan, but if Ethan and Don Ethan, they both seem like formidable fighters. If they gang up on H2O, he's going to be begging for H2O pretty quickly.
Crucifix roll up right now. One referee out of position. You had to think that could have been it right there. And look at H2O Delirious. He's boxing around, but Don Ethan is not gonna back down as he's got H2O Delirious up on his shoulders in a fireman carry.
Got somebody else coming in?
Snake eyes into the ropes. And E-Pro running in, maybe looking for
I thought E-Pro was gonna go after H2O. That was a mistake.
Don Ethan looked for something, but E-Pro is fighting out of it. Big
that was a mistake.
To the head. And now Delirious tries, and now Don Ethan cooperating. Delirious. Anthony enters, and he just tackles E-Pro over. And
Anthony's
Don
also
Ethan,
new, right?
He was looking for that military press gut buster, but he didn't get it. And now E-Pro getting out of a submission. Big clothesline. E-Pro
looks like Don Ethan's in a lot of trouble.
Don Ethan is being pinned by H2O Delirious. Don Ethan did kick out. H2O Delirious, he's got Don Ethan up. As E-Pro, is he going to look for him? Here, H2O Delirious hit Don Ethan with the last stride, and E-Pro just hit a massive
Don Ethan, because Don Ethan looks like he's in trouble.
Butterfly suplex right there, like maneuver. And now, actually, Fast and Furious now. Anthony is getting his leg kicked in, and H2O Delirious was looking for the tombstone, but Don Ethan fights out in a springboard disaster.
I would love to go against
and there's that butterfly
Anthony.
pump handle slam again from E-Pro. And Don Ethan, he's got H2O Delirious right where he wants.
Come on, let me in. I want to fight Ethan.
Small package driver
Anthony.
to H2O Delirious. Anthony was looking for a powerbomb, but E-Pro gets out of it. H2O Delirious is not out. He manages to kick out.
Come on, let me at Anthony.
4 in this chamber. And
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I don't know how I'm going to do here.
The chamber. Nice stuff. But E-Pro's got him up looking for a gut buster of his own, but no.
Everyone's focusing on E-Pro, which makes sense. He's a champion.
H2O Delirious now. And there's a military press slam on
Don Ethan. He's going to be the first one to go, I think. We see the meter. He's low.
Delirious is just taking on Don Ethan and Nananubi at the same time right now.
I'm surprised no one's going after Don Ethan. There we go.
The referee again out of position. The referees are really out of position.
I definitely want
and E-Pro looking to spear Don Ethan.
Because I'm the champ. I want to take out as many people as possible.
And now, oh my God, Anthony was looking to blow out Don Ethan's kneecap right there, but he missed. Nananubi is squaring up with H2O Delirious. And next out, and Vanos enters last.
This is chaos.
Now
This is
Nubi's
pandemonium.
taking Delirious for a spin. Don even hit a
Yeah, come on, throw
gutbuster
him.
right there.
Yeah.
Now Vanoss going after the champion.
Okay,
The
get him,
referee
get him,
getting
get
in the
him.
way again. Ref, get out of here. And now Don Ethan with a running powerbomb to Anthony. He Pro is battering Vanoss
So much
like it's no
happening. I don't know
tomorrow
what to
right now.
follow.
And now Don Ethan from behind and an atomic drop. Oh my god.
Come on, I just
that
wanna-
had to
let
hurt
me
Pro.
get-
I
let me
don't
get
care
rid of
who you
Anthony.
are. As Anthony with a gut wrench powerbomb right there. And oh my god, Pro going after H2O Delirious now. I can't exactly blame him. Get the big dog like H2O Delirious out of there
Delirious got knocked
first,
out.
so you don't have to worry about him coming back mounting offense. Vanoss, I mean, everybody's going left and right here, and there's that pump handle slam onto H2O Delirious.
H2O Delirious, yeah.
And now Vanoss and Don Ethan are
Really feels
squaring
like
up
there's some
right
bad
now.
blood between H2O Delirious
Delirious being
and
brought back
E-Pro,
into
if I had
the
to make a
ring.
guess. Yeah,
Action's
looks
hard
like
to call.
H2O
Vanoss
Delirious
with
is
a
about to
running
be
set-up
toast here at the
powerbomb.
hands of
Not Anubi
the reigning
slapping
champion.
away on Anthony right there, forearms and everything else.
oh.
Delirious takes down Ethan, and Ethan is being pinned. 1, 2, and E-Pro kicks out.
Oh.
Now, oh my god, Vanoss isn't.
I'm just being selfish that I want E-Pro to make it to the end so that I can beat him. I don't know if I will, but
Clutches a non-newbie who is fighting back. And E-Pro fighting back, big punch to the gut. Vanoss a springboard clothesline to not a newbie. And there's that double underhook slam again. E-Pro really likes hitting that move. I mean, he likes to flex. Who can blame it? He has a huge uppercut on H2O Delirious, who's just ignoring all this offense.
let me get an Anthony. Let me get an
Oh
Anthony.
my god, Delirious. He's got Ethan right where he wants him. An atomic drop, and Don Ethan gets sent out, and Vanoss taking down his own buddy, and not a newbie with a springboard flying drop kick on E-Pro.
Oh, I'm going after the
Action
champ. I'm
is
going after
pure
the champ. Let's
chaos
go.
right now. And not a newbie and Vanoss working together to double suplex.
I love how I'm just like
H2O
going
Delirious.
just like from
And now
person to
Ethan
person, like
gets
being like
thrown
super
to the
random.
outside. That surely got to take him out.
Yeah, there we go.
But
Take
now
out Anthony.
not
Take
a
out
newbie
Anthony.
is
Take out
fighting back
Anthony.
from Anthony. Man, action is super hard to call here, folks. And all.
I'm just taking everyone out. I'm just like,
Delirious. Oh, nice stuff from E-Pro as he hits a moonsault on
Get
Anthony.
H2O,
Not a
get
newbie.
H2O,
What is he
get
looking for
H2O.
here? Sliding through H2O Delirious pops up. Nice Hurricane Rana.
Nice,
E-Pro
nice.
is scaling to sell and a twisting crossbody onto Anthony.
Anthony's gotta be hurting there after that.
Nice stuff. Vanoss with a big power slam on Newbie. And E-Pro,
Of course, all
nice,
eyes are on
nice
Champ.
gut buster right there. On to Anthony. And now.
Looks like the champ's about to fight the ref for a second there.
Who can blame the man, right? Who can
Oh,
blame
no,
him?
I'm like
As now he's
1v2.
hammering away on H2O Delirious. Spear to H2O Delirious. Pieced him up with a 1-2.
Is H2O Delirious down?
Spear, and Delirious manages to pick out Anthony with his own twisted crossbody off the top of the chamber. And now,
No.
not a newbie.
I gotta stay
He
in.
got hit with something. He was being pinned.
Okay, I
Don
kicked out,
Ethan,
kicked out,
he
kicked out,
kicked
kicked
out
out.
even though he wasn't being counted by the referee. E-Pro, what is he gonna do here? And a nice Frankensteiner on H2O Delirious. What are you doing up there, Anthony? Why are you on top of the... okay, he got off the top of the pod. Thank God that could have ended really badly. As E-Pro
Are you
did
not supposed
hit
to be
a
in the top of the
massive
pod?
flying forearm to H2O Delirious
Okay, I gotta
and
take
a
out
big
Anthony. You gotta
axe
take out
handle.
Anthony.
And now, actually, Fast and Furious
Anthony
9 will be
and E-Pro, two
handling
people wanna take
Anthony right now as, oh my god, E-Pro, what is he doing? E-Pro, flying splash from the top of the chamber pod. Nice stuff. And 1, and 2, and H2O Delirious still kicking out.
Wow,
And
I
now
thought he had it. I thought he had
Anthony's
it.
not a newbie. There it is. There's that cartwheel slam, and bam, decapitating him with the clothesline. Iconic Anthony
Man, I'm
move right
stunned.
there. But Delirious is fighting back as he choke slams E-Pro. Not a newbie kicked out.
Okay,
Vanoss
good,
was
good.
also being
I survived,
pinned, but
I
the referee
survived.
couldn't get to that in time either.
Come on, I gotta take out
As
Anthony.
E-Pro's
Anthony's running
fighting
low.
back against H2O Delirious. And now Don Ethan being whipped right into the cage. And now, oh my god, E-Pro powerbombing H2O Delirious. And Don Ethan got hit with something. Don Ethan looks like he's completely
Yeah, there we go. Take it out.
unconscious. 1,
Taking out the
2,
champ is
and
kind of...
I think that's 3. That is 3. Don
Ooh.
Ethan is the person eliminated as E-Pro hit a spine buster on
Don
Don
Ethan's out. I figured he might be
Anthony
out.
just comes from behind and launches him. My god. And now What do we got here?
Come on.
Vanos being whipped
Dig deep.
over
Dig
the top
deep.
rope
I
right
got
there. And
this.
Anthony, look at Anthony. We're hitting 1-2s, uppercuts, and
Get
everything on
get
his
E-Pro.
shoulder.
Come on.
He's
No, get the
him
champ.
right
Get the
now.
champ. Get the
Not
ring,
even
the
with a
ring.
frog splash on
There
the
it
E-Pro
is.
off the top
There
rope.
it is.
What?
Oh.
Man, E-Pro just completely ignored that, said, "Nuh-uh, sir. You're not winning off that." And Anthony hits a shooting star on H2O Delirious. Oh my god. And Vanos shoulder breaker to E-Pro. And now, oh my god, Anthony's got Delirious up. Cartwheel slam. And now he decapitates H2O Delirious. And oh
Looking for
my
someone to
god,
fight very
E-Pro
clearly. Looking for
spears
someone to fight.
Vanos. The action, man. You have 1. We have 2. 3. H2O Delirious is done. H2O
Wow.
and not a newbie with a big backbreaker to Anthony. Can you believe it? H2O is out. There it is. Gut check from E-Pro.
I guess the shocking part is I thought that H2O Delirious would be defeated by E-Pro.
Even E-Pro coming out of nowhere with a big spear on Vanos. Anthony and not a newbie brawling it out. But 1, 2, 3. Vanos has been eliminated. Wow. And now Anthony looking for that gut-wrench powerbomb, but no, not a newbie slips out of it. German suplex. And now E-Pro comes in with a big clothesline here down to the last three, folks. Who is going to be walking out
I'm going to need the help of Anthony if I'm going to take out
at the end
E-Pro.
of the season? And E-Pro launches, not a newbie.
But I really want to take
elbow,
out Anthony, so.
completely hitting Anthony and everybody. Oh my god.
But making it to the final 3 in my first appearance, I was not ready for this.
Big moonsault onto Anthony. Nice.
E-Pro going to get showed up by 2
And now he's
rookies.
picking Anthony up. What is he going to look for here? And he's got him in a T-bone suplex, but he just launched him. And now he uppercuts not a newbie. E-Pro is going haywire right now, taking on everybody.
I feel like he's going to win. I'm so nervous.
Oh my god, the action, man. There it is. Drops the fist right there. Oh, Anthony was looking for a moonsault miss. E-Pro takes him out from behind. E-Pro's getting right back up.
So lucky I chose to sit the way I did.
And you gotta think E-Pro is gonna be running low on stamina here. I mean, but
I'm low on stamina very clearly.
He is the cardio machine. So he's just gonna fight no matter what, but not a newbie says no. And now, what is Anthony gonna do?
Well, this conversation is great.
Against the ropes there, big punch to the head, and now Anthony and not a newbie are gonna square up with each other. And there's
No,
a
we gotta
big
take on the
release
champ. We gotta
German
take on the champ.
suplex.
Come on.
Anthony. I mean, it's kind of impressive to see people like Not a Newbie and Anthony hanging in there in the longest tier. And Not a Newbie kicked out of that release German suplex, man. And only to get beat in the head by E-Pro as he slams his arm into the mat right there. Absolute brutality, folks. And now whips him in the corner there.
Yeah, I love him getting some blows in here.
Now,
Take out the champ. Let's go.
looking for something, but E-Pro's fighting back. Big kicks to the hamstring right there. Whips him into the corner now. My god. E-Pro, big clothesline to not a newbie. Hits an elbow drop. Anthony's there from behind, though. What is Anthony going to look for here? He's picking him up, but E-Pro's fighting out of it. Big reverse DDT right there. Anthony keeps up, ducks to clothesline. Now he's fighting back. Now he's going after not a newbie.
I don't know. Do you want this smoke? Do you want this smoke?
Big suplex over the top
I think
rope
he
to
does.
not a newbie. But he kind of tripped. You saw it there, folks. Anthony tripped and gets hit with a gut check right there. E-Pro is on a roll right now. And he's setting it up. He's setting up. He's going to go for it. Big spear to Anthony. That is it. But he's waiting too much time. Taunting. Not a newbie from behind with a German suplex. Holds the bridge. 1. And E-Pro kicks out again. The referee out of position as Anthony gets up, rolling Not a Newbie up from behind. 2. And Not a Newbie just barely kicks out. The action is hard to call.
I got scared
Not
there.
a Newbie with a springboard drop kick right there. But E-Pro
So I've got some steam left, for sure.
tackle,
But
and
leaping
now
off and
E-Pro,
doing
he's
springboards.
setting Not a Newbie up. And bam! Big spear. And that is going to be it for Not a Newbie. He's got him into the cover right now. 1. Referee is out of breath, I think. 2. 3, but Not a Newbie's out anyway. It's down to Anthony.
I'm out.
And E-Pro, can
What
you
a
believe
sad
it?
way to go.
I
What a
can't
shame.
believe it. Anthony, in only his second ever match, is squaring up with the world
You
champion.
mean top 3 is
And
not bad, though.
Big spear
My
from
first
E-Pro.
appearance.
1, 2, it's over. No! Anthony with a kick out.
thought
The
it was gonna be over, too.
resiliency of Anthony. And E-Pro calling him up anyway. You got to give credit to Anthony, man. The heart, the will, flying shoulder tackle again. I mean, look, you got to give credit to Anthony. I mean, he's hanging in there with everything he's got as E-Pro drops a knee right into his neck. Man, the brutality, man, it's not gonna end as E-Pro's hammering with uppercuts to the gut, and oh my god. Anthony, surely you can't take much more of this. And now, Anthony, he reverses the Irish whip into the corner. He's trying to fight back, but E-Pro is fighting back now. Anthony not about to quit. Suplex, but he just drops Anthony right on his face. My god. I mean, who else but E-Pro, right? And he's going for a shot. No! A big kick to the gut right there. And Anthony is squaring up right now. Big forearm shot. Give credit to good old Anthony right now as he smashes E-Pro into the corner. And you can tell E-Pro is bleeding now. Anthony drawing blood. And E-Pro's still fighting back. And a big shot right there. And Anthony is looking in a bad way right now.
He's massive and he's strong.
Gut check right there. And E-Pro, and now he's lining him up. I think E-Pro, he's looking to end it right here. Big spear, and that's gotta be it. See ya, bye, Anthony. It was a wonderful performance, but it's over. 1.
It's gotta be.
2. And are you kidding me? Anthony kicked out again. E-Pro is furious right now. Anthony just refuses to quit. And now, E-Pro, he's gonna go as far as to go to the top of the chamber pond. Looking for a dive, and I think he was trying to get up there in enough time to dive on Anthony, who managed to sidestep him right at the last moment, and now he's taking out the knee right there. Man, Anthony's inexperienced. If he would have capitalized, maybe hit that big cartwheel move, you might have won the championship, kid. But E-Pro fighting back. He gave E-Pro too much time to fight back. And now look at this, a big uppercuts to the gut. And now
he made
off
E-Pro
the
mad.
ropes, Irish whip. Anthony looking for something. He gets caught into a power slam. I don't know what Anthony was looking for, but it didn't work. And now E-Pro's got him exactly where he wants him for it.
The crowd is here for it. The crowd is here for it.
And that has got to be it. See ya, bye, Anthony. There's no way he's kicking out of a third one. 1, 2, and that is 3. And Ethan McCoy, E-Pro himself, retains his world championship inside the Elimination Chamber. What a season that was, folks. That was awesome. Easily one of the better seasons of PWS we've had in a little while, so yeah. Just make sure you stay tuned for Ethan's journey, because we're going to be heading into Season 4 real soon, folks. And with that being said, I've been Mr. Pizza, and I will catch you all in the next video and in Season 4 of PWS. See ya!
That was crazy. That was crazy. I didn't think that I would make it to... I didn't think I was going to make it to the top 3. Like, I am impressed by my own performance. This was really cool. Thanks for putting this on. And we definitely need to do like a stream where like you just come on and talk to me about the history of the PWS, all the storylines, everything that I've missed. Because I think there's still probably some Easter eggs there in the match, or in the Easter eggs there on the cage, on the mat that I missed. So you got to explain all those to me. But this is a really cool concept, and I'm glad that you're like going right into the next season. I'm definitely going to react to some of it. I don't know if I'll react to all of it, because I think it'd probably be a lot of matches to react to, but all of my performances for sure I'll watch. And I think I might even watch the World Championships, even if I'm not in it too. Just because, you know, I feel like I got to at least watch the championship, you know? I got to at least watch the championship. I'm in the league now. I'm in the league. So I got to stay up to date with everything that's going on over there. But thanks to everyone who tuned into the stream. It was nice to see, Mr. Pizza sending messages into the chat. Very cool. I had some interesting commentary and questions about the stuff that I was talking to. Thanks everyone for suffering through the poor quality. Hopefully the recording quality is a lot higher than the streaming quality. I think it is, but we'll see, because I'm also getting encoding overlaid messages. So I will be uploading a fixed VOD to the channel shortly, meaning within 24 to 48 hours. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. Don't forget to check out the Non-Doobie Highlights channel, where I upload the video at noon on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Also check the Discord server out. I'm posting stuff more in the Discord server. But yeah, other than that, peace out, y'all.